What's up, guys? My name is Matt, and with all this Destiny news and all the House of Wolves and patch 1.1.2, I've actually started scripting my videos. It's for the quality, I promise. Alright guys, today's video I guess is part one of two videos of all the behind the scenes changes that Bungie implemented in patch 1.1.2. This video I'll be covering all the things that Bungie added when it comes to the database, essentially everything that I can't show in game, things that we don't have access to yet. There's a lot and I'll be covering it relatively quickly, so if I miss something or you miss something, I've provided a link in the description to the Reddit post that covers everything I talk about today. So be sure to check that out if you want to get a little bit more in-depth read on all of these things. The first batch of undocumented changes is that there are two. That's right, two social spaces. One called the Halls of Amentet, and the second called the Queen's Bay. The Halls of Amentet is apparently something for the trials. Its description: only true champions tested in the trials of Osiris dare set foot in these fabled halls. And that makes it sound like there's something that you have to work towards and you won't be unlocked right at release. You probably have to win the Trials of Osiris or whatever the Trials of Osiris actually entails in order to access this place. And the second is the Queen's Bay. The Queen's Bay is the official name for what we've been calling as a community the Reef Social Space. And if you didn't watch my other video, we'll be able to learn more about the Reef Social Space next week on April 22nd. The next batch of behind the scenes changes is for the House of Wolves strike. The strike we called many things. Many things. And at one point it was the Traitor's Catch. More recently it was called the Belly of the Beast. But it seems Bungie has renamed it again and called it the Shadow Thief. Its description: Tanic Sin, the Fallen's most notorious mercenary, is leading a strike force on the moon. Board his catch and kill him, or he will continue to cut a trail of death across the system. Now, if you've seen videos of accessing this area on my channel or somewhere else before, there are two Fallen Walkers that were presumed to be in the boss arena. Now, this may no longer be the case, and my guess, and what I hope for, is that it'll be similar to the Devil's Lair, where we have to fight the Walker before accessing the boss, or they could be cosmetic. I really hope they aren't cosmetic, but we'll have to wait till release to find out. The third group of undocumented changes is for the story missions and quests. Like Dark Below, there will probably be a vendor of sorts with missions and quests and probably something to sell. We don't know the name of this vendor, or if this is even how it'll work. My guess is that it'll probably be the Queen herself that we go and talk to for these missions, or possibly her brother. But there are 3 story missions: a joining of houses, an army of wolves, and the World Ravager. Also included are the 3 quests called the Dark Raider, Duel of Silent Fang, and the Wolf's Gambit. Now, I could go in and talk about where all these are going to be located and who the bosses will be, but really that's not important. Just note that there'll be 3 story missions, 3 quests, probably very similar to how the Dark Below was executed. Now, for the data changes about the PvP in the database, there are technically 5 maps that have either been recently altered or changed by Bungie. But if you go to the Destiny of the Game website, it stated we will only be getting 3 maps. With that said, the 5 maps are the Timekeeper on Mars, the Thieves' Den on Venus, the Widow's Court on Earth, and the Black Shield on Phobos. And there's also one called MM Test Factory with the description: do not play, test only. Now, of these 5, we can only assume that MM Test Factory is something for Bungie only. But as for the rest of the maps, we probably will be getting the Timekeeper, Thieves' Den, Widow's Court, and for Black Shield, it'll probably be released at a later date. There's also 2 game modes implemented into the database for PvP. Those 2 are Ancient Relics, a salvage variant, and Elimination, with very little description about it and is very vague. What these are, we don't know, but it was worth noting they are in the database as of patch 1.1.2. And the last things that Bungie have been poking around with in the database are as follows. They're simply called the House of Wolves, with a description: join Petrovenge and her allies in the Reef, hunt the fallen House of Wolves and their notorious Kel Skoles, the Betrayer. Your reward: glory and the treasures beyond imagination. And with that, Reddit users and a lot of the community are speculating that this may be the raid that's not included on release for House of Wolves. But it also could be anything as well. Bungie has been also messing with data for the treasure maps that I discussed a long time ago. And there's some broken data about a Destination Faction Rasputin Zero and a Destination Crypto. What any of these last bits of information actually are, we won't know, but if Bungie is messing with the data, we'll probably see this stuff at some point, even if it isn't in the House of Wolves. Alright guys, that's everything I have for the undocumented behind-the-scenes changes in the database for the things that aren't actually in-game. I hope you enjoyed this video, put a lot of effort into it. Leave me your feedback on this video, let me know what you guys thought. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, leave a like. But as always, my name is Matt, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Make the ground shake.